Welcome back. I'm Alaina Schwartz. So one of the keys to creating a successful business is to understand how a leader can influence a team to become high performing. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use your skills and talents as a leader to create your dream team. So stay tuned. First, I'm going to uncover what really motivates high performers to perform at their best. Next, I'll show you the number one thing that you can do in your business to create that A-team. And then what you can do in your business to drive your team to help achieve the goals and the vision of your business. By the end of this video, you and your team will have the skills and the tools to be able to sunshine your mistakes. So let's dive right in. Okay, there's a major difference between what motivates high performers and what motivates average to low performers. And when you understand these things, you understand how to really build a culture that really supports high performers to perform at their best. So one of the first things is high performers like to be noticed. Like average and regular performers, well, I guess that is, average performers and low performers really don't want to be noticed very much. They want to blend in more. High performers like to be seen and appreciated. And while everyone likes to be appreciated, most average to low performers don't actually want to be seen. Again, they want to blend in. They want to be kind of invisible and just go do their work and then leave and be done with it. High performers love when their opinions and efforts are valued and appreciated. They thrive on meritocracy. So the idea isn't that they get a particular role in your business or they get to do certain things just because they're next in line to do them. They want to do it based on their merit alone. They want their merits to speak for them. And so getting a promotion, for example, one of my team members really wants to write copy. And while I do a lot of my own copy, she would really like to write my copy. Now, based on the things that she's done, I'm giving her the option to be able to do that, the invitation to be able to do that, for her to step up into that role because it's something that she thrives on and really loves to do. High performers love to be surrounded by other high performers. They love that they get to play off of each other. Energy like energy builds up more like energy. So they really like having a whole team of high performers. And you really can only build a business based on your weakest link. So if you have a weak team member, it will bring the whole team down along with them. High performers love to be challenged, while average performers and even low performers really just want to continue to stay in their comfort zone and move forward the way they are. High performers don't thrive like that. They want to move out of their comfort zone. They want to be challenged so that they can grow and expand, or else they feel stagnant in doing their job. In addition, and lastly, they want to be a major contributor to the vision. They want to really feel invested in the mission and vision, not just because they're doing this service for you, but because it lights them up to do it, which is very different than average and low performers. Okay, so one of the keys to really motivate high performers so you don't have to be constantly motivating them individually is to create a really fantastic culture. A culture that allows for new ideas, it allows for innovation, it allows for taking risks, it allows them to seize new opportunities, all of which equals long-term profitable growth. So how do you create this culture in the first place? One of the keys is to inspire them with a vision. Now, what your vision is might not be the same vision for them. So by creating a shared and common vision amongst your team so that you're all building in the same place, right? You're all putting your bricks on top of each other to build for the same thing, even though your vision or mission might be slightly different from theirs. It allows them to get on board and really support and get behind the vision. Now, shared vision actually encourages debate. So if you think that because you are the leader of this business, because you are the business owner, that your way or the highway, like I was recently networking with this woman and she was talking about how she basically says like steamroll them. Like if they don't get on board, just steamroll them. And I was like, oh my God, you are not going to create a culture that encourages people to want to perform. I think they're calling it quiet quitting right now, right? right? That's actually what people will do if you do not help them get on board. And part of getting on board, like I said, is letting them have a voice. And that means a healthy debate. It doesn't mean shooting below the hip and taking things personally, but it means allowing for a conversation about what does it mean if we start going down and really putting meat behind the bones of this idea. What is that going to mean for everybody? What is it going to mean for everybody's job? What is it going to mean for the company? Is it moving the company closer to the vision or not? That's really key. So allowing for a healthy debate brings in a healthy culture. The next thing that's really important to create a thriving culture is to instill confidence in them, right? So one of the ways to instill confidence in them is to allow them to run with the projects and make it okay to make mistakes. And I'll talk about this later on in Sunshining Your Mistakes, but that's actually super critical. If you really want a thriving culture that lifts all your high performers up, then teach them to make each other better, right? So we're not just here doing our own jobs. Like my role as a leader is to actually make everybody on my team better. It's to make everyone I come into contact with better as a result of working with me. It's allowing them to take risks. It's allowing them to make mistakes. It's allowing them to have no idea what they're gonna do, but being willing to take the initiative to do it. We're meant to lift each other up and make each other better. And it makes the whole team and the company better as a result. I was recently listening to this podcast recommended by a friend of mine of a person who had just created a $50 million business this particular year. And one of the things they were talking about is how no one on their team can really last longer than a year. They chew them up and spit them out. They either have to fire them or they're so burnt out they have to leave. And in a way, they were having this conversation with their CEO on the podcast and celebrating this. And I thought, that's a horrible culture to work in. Like people might be learning a lot, but the pressure that's on them and the fact that you're not creating a team to thrive, like that is not a culture that's conducive for bringing on high performers and being able to retain high performers. And I actually think fast turnover like that is like not profitable for your business, right? It's much more expensive to have a high turnover than it is to just create the right culture to begin with. Next, it's key to share what's going on in your organization. With certain members of my team, I actually tell them every time I enroll a client where our income is at in the moment, when I'm starting to do new strategies, what I'm thinking about, and again, I invite their feedback for me because it helps them be invested in the company in a different way rather than holding it so close to my chest. The next one is to ask powerful questions and really listen. Powerful questions elicit powerful answers. If you really want to know what people are thinking about, both you as a leader, what's going on in the business, what can be improved, how they're even doing. Ask powerful questions. That's really key because high performers thrive when they're asked powerful questions. Aligned goals and goals that are aligned with specific skills and talents are also key. So when you notice that people have certain weaknesses and certain strengths, really play to their strengths. Really help them. This isn't, I mean, yes, it's okay for people to learn to bring up some of the things that they're weaker on, but when you play to people's talents, when you play to their strengths, they will absolutely thrive and shine as a result. Now, if you really want to learn how to create a thriving team, if you really want to learn how to be an excellent leader and have great communication skills, then make sure you subscribe to this channel because I put out tons of content that will teach you exactly that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. The next key is to delegate responsibility for the outcomes. So for example, I am giving you an outcome to have, like, I will give you my marketing assistant. One of her goals is to book 8 calls on my calendar every week. How she does it, totally up to her. Right? I give her some guidelines along the way, but how she utilizes her time, how she creates it, that is totally up to her. What I am doing is empowering her to get behind the goal so that she feels really responsible for the goal and takes on a lot of responsibility for that goal. So don't tell them how, tell them what. Let them come up with the how. Let them tell you the how. And if there's something that needs to be tweaked, maybe you can give them feedback, but allow them to come up with the how that works for them. You're meant to be hiring people that do this particular thing, whatever the task is, better than you. Allow them to perform at their best, and don't essentially castrate them by having them do exactly what you would do the way you would do it. So really empower them. So the next step in learning how to create a thriving team of top performing A-team players is to really hone your communication skills. And in this video, in the link below, I really teach you how to communicate as a leader. So make sure you tune into it. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and see you in the next video.